thanks for checking out another episode of Live and Lead. At the E2 Initiative, we believe that healthy leaders lead healthy churches, and healthy churches need healthy leaders. That's why we equip and encourage those who serve our churches. And we want to thank you for being one of our ministry partners, one of our friends of the ministry. If you don't receive our e-newsletter, sign up for it. You'll be updated on all the good things that God is doing through E2, and maybe even partnering with us in one of those ministry opportunities. I read a book a number of years ago talking about leadership, and the author made the point that one of the greatest hurdles that leaders have to overcome is the excessive desire to win at all costs. You know, leaders are motivated people, they're confident people, and they want to win at everything they do, and they want others to know that they're right. He used an illustration in the book. It goes something like this. Let's suppose that you and your wife or your children are having a conversation about where to go have dinner. And you want to go to a particular restaurant, they want to go to another restaurant. You have this debate about which restaurant you should choose, and you are overruled, and you decide to go to the opposite restaurant from the one you wanted to go to. Well, you go to that restaurant, the food is cold, the wait is long to get in before you even get to the food. The experience is terrible, and the whole time you're sitting there, you know that you have two options. Option one is you can make the best of the evening, you can eat the meal, you can go home and never say another word about it. But most of the time we choose the other option, and that is where we remind our children or we remind our spouse just why your decision was the best decision to make, and by choosing their decision, that's why things went south. That's why it wasn't a good experience. You have to win at all costs, and you want to prove that you are right. You know, another example of this would be when someone comes to you and they tell you about their day. And they say, you know, I had the worst day of my life. And as they begin to talk with you about how bad their day was, here's what you do. You say, you think your day was bad. Well, let me tell you how bad my day was. I mean, our desire, our commitment, our impulse to want to win even goes to topping somebody else's bad day. We always want to be right. We always want to be on top. There's this excessive need to win at all costs. You know, that happens in relationships. What happens when somebody does you wrong? What happens when somebody hurts you? What happens when somebody does something that really makes you feel pretty lousy? Well, if you have this excessive need to win, you're going to retaliate. You're going to come back at that person. Well, let me remind you of a principle that we find in our Bibles, and it's the 1 Peter 2:23 principle. And here's what it says concerning Jesus: that when he was reviled, he did not revile in return. When he suffered, he did not threaten. In other words, Jesus didn't see the need that he had to win when he was done wrong. How could he not retaliate? Listen to what Peter tells us Jesus did. 1 Peter 2:23, the second half. But he continued entrusting himself to him who judges justly. You see, Jesus knew that ultimately judgment resides in the hands and the heart of God. We don't always have to win, because in the end, justice will be served by a God who knows everything, sees everything, and can hand out justice adequately and properly. So as a leader, as a human being, as a servant in our churches, wherever God may have placed you, I know we like to win. And I know we like for people to know that we're right. And I know that when people do us wrong, we want them to know they've done us wrong and that they're wrong for doing us wrong. But you know, there is no greater place to be when you can come to the place in your life where you will say, I don't have to win all the time, because I can entrust myself to the one who judges justly.